It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Thank you very much for joining us on your Feel Good Breakfast Show on this Monday morning. It's that time once again when we discuss relationships. Now, whether you love your job or you hate it, we all experience a moment or two where we wish we could just take the day off, spend a little time in bed cuddling no muntu wakho. But responsibilities always strike, however. And all the more so for some of the people out there who have high-pressure jobs. And of course, that taking of any time for yourself is out of the question, let alone giving yourself and your loved one that attention that they deserve. And it feels near impossible to do sometimes.
Exactly. So the question we're asking, does your partner work so much that even if they're working from home, it still feels like you never see them? Is your partner's constant working causing a rift in your relationship? Well, our relationship expert is here, Dr. Eve, and she's in the building to break it all down. It's a really hot topic, and I know a lot of people are struggling with it. So if you have any questions or comments, our lines are officially open. Give us a call, 021-430-9881. We are here for you. We want to engage.
And so is Dr. Eve. Thank you for joining us as always, Dr. Eve. So let's start it at the very beginning in understanding what exactly happens to a person's body and their psyche when they are being overworked. Sometimes they don't even realize that they are overworking themselves or being overworked. But what happens to them?
So I'm looking at all three of us, and I think that we're pretty guilty of
True. Except I have no partner who can struggle with that. But
Okay.
Okay, so let's break it down and say what happens to our body.
Yes.
I think we also have to define what's overwork at. So overwork could be more than like 48 hours a week. And your body is unable to really tolerate that amount of stress. So the first thing that happens, you go into something called sleep debt. Have you heard of sleep debt?
Yes.
Where you sleep deprived.
You can't pay it back.
You can't pay it back.
The sleep.
But it's really serious because biologically what happens to your body is that it puts you at a higher risk for obesity and for heart disease and for strokes. Also, you're not going to get into a good exercise and nutritional routine. And that has severe consequences because you also need then to increase your energy levels. What do we turn to? Caffeine and alcohol. So there was a study done that said if anybody works more than 48 hours a week, they're at a higher risk of overuse of alcohol. And what overuse of alcohol means for women, that would be more than 14 glasses of alcohol in a week. And for men, it would be 21 glasses of alcohol in a week. That would be considered to be a higher intake of alcohol than necessary. And this is with people who do so-called overwork. So it has profound impact, short-term and long-term, on your body. The other thing that's really interesting is that studies have been done by Harvard Business School, and they show that people who overwork are not more productive. They think that they're being more productive, but they're actually not, because there's memory loss that happens. And there's lack of concentration. So you're kind of on the cycle where you really think that you're outputting a lot more, but you're not really producing that much more.
Well, when we come back, I want to ask about the types of strain that kind of overwork can put on a relationship, not only for you as the person who's overworking, but not like you were talking about the sleep debt. So we're going to talk about that in a second. And we want to know from you, does your partner work so much that even when they are at home, it still feels like they're not really there? Give us a call, 021-430-9881 is the number to dial.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
We're chatting with our relationship expert, Dr. Eve, in the house. We're talking about partners that work way too much. If you have a partner and, you know, it's maybe affecting your relationship, 021-430-9881 is the number to call. This is a safe space for us to discuss these things. And the question that I asked Dr. Eve before we went to the break was, what kind of pressure or strain does that kind of scenario put on a relationship, especially when a partner is working too much or they're overworked?
They're overworked and they're just not available.
Yes.
I think I want to start with, you know, what motivates somebody to overwork, and then we'll look at the
start. Yes. Why? That's a very good point to start at, because it offers some understanding to the person who kind of being left out in the cold, in the dark. Why is it that this person overworks or is being overworked in the first place?
Yeah, and I think that's important because our focus today is on you, the partner, and looking at your response to somebody who is overworking. So it may be because they really are ambitious, which is really lovely, but it may be that there's a conflation around that ambition. And then you'll always get the defense around, I'm doing it for your sake. he or she will say to the partner, I'm doing it for your sake so that we have money to send our children to private schools, or so that we can travel, or we can do nice things. So there's a justification that comes around that. And then there's the real thing around, well, you know, we have to make money. And that's kind of real, but to a point, because then you have to get into what are my expectations and what are the things that I value. So we're really looking at somebody who is ambitious and who is talking about self-promotion. Why are you smiling like that?
I don't know if, and I'm not even catching feelings. I'm just, the one you call the justification and
Yes,
the other one
there's a
you
lot of
call the
justification.
reason. So
Yeah.
where do you draw the line? If somebody's saying,
Yes.
I'm working so hard because I want to send my children
Yeah.
to a private school,
Yes.
to the best universities, afford them the best opportunities, versus I'm working just so that I can provide the bare minimum. Where does it become a justification? Where is it an acceptable
When
reason?
it becomes that you are so overworked that you don't have time for a partner, and we'll talk about, you know, the impact that it has on
Okay.
a partner, then you begin to justify, because you get into a lifestyle which is exclusionary of a partner, not
Oh,
having
right.
space and not really be able to
Yeah.
provide time for your partner, which is what a partner really wants, is to be able to have a relationship.
Yeah.
So
I
that
feel
would
like
be
I'm
one
going
of
to
the
come back
reasons.
from. I'm going to come back with a little bit of a whammy, something that just hit me now. It's not
Go,
in
go,
a
go.
question, but okay. Let's say someone really does enjoy what they do. They
Yes,
really
and
love
let's
their
hope
job.
so.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
work really long hours because they enjoy it.
Yes.
Can that possibly offend their partner,
Yeah.
who maybe has a job that they don't really enjoy? And then
should
if
they?
they make and then they make it seem as though, oh, you work too much, you're overworked, but it's really, I wish.
Because that's
that-
dangerous.
That's it. And also there could be a jealousy element around that, an envy around that.
I
that
wanted to say
don't-
jealousy, but I
Yeah.
chose offended. We're going to come
Yes.
back after the break with us. 021-430-9881. We are getting heated right now. Is your partner working too much?
It's my feel good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show on this Monday morning. Relationship Talks with Dr. Eve. And of course, our lines are open on 021-430-9881. Mariki from Pretoria is on the line. Good morning, Mariki. Go right ahead.
Yes.
Good day.
Hi, Mariki.
Hi. I just want to say that I think my marriage went down due to the partner that was overworking.
Oh, wow.
You know, my husband was always out working, and you raise 3 children on your own. And there are times that you need an adult conversation. When the children are busy with their own things, you tend to get lonely.
Wow.
And you need friends, and when you phone them, they are busy with their own lives, you know, and you actually feel that you are interrupting their lives because you are feeling lonely.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just need that person, you know, after a rough day. You need that person to say, you know what, it's going to be better tomorrow.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
that
Yeah.
in that time, that person is not there. That father is not there. You're raising 2 boys, you know, they get bullied at school. And, you know, what do you do?
That's a great question, Mariki. Thank you so
On
much
the
for sharing
end-
that with us. Yes.
On the end, you had to, like, teach your boys to use their fists, you know, to fight their own battles, things like that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And it's quite hard on a mother, specifically if the father is absent,
Yeah.
working.
Thank you so much for sharing
Thank
your
you,
story with us,
Mariki.
Mariki. So
Wow.
let's talk to the partner who perhaps is overworked and might look at the situation and go, but the reason why you want me there all the time is because you're needy. But Mariki's talking about a real emotional state of being lonely, and that
Being
is
in a
something
marriage,
to
but
be
almost
respected.
being a single parent.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
talk to us about that.
Yeah, so maybe he's saying, I'm working to be able to take care of the children. It comes down to the person who's overworking their own priorities and their own value system. What are they valuing first? And then going into a contract with somebody like Mariki, with your partner, to say, well, this is what I am devoted to, or this is what I'm passionate about, is my career and doing things that I really love. And Mariki, it's up to you to find something that you're passionate about. But then she says, well, you know, we have an agreement around having children and I want us to co-parent. And he'll say, well, I don't want to be co-parenting. She must then look for other ways to optimize her situation and to bring in support so that she isn't feeling resentful towards him. Because what Mariki's feeling is betrayed. And that's how many, many people feel, is betrayed, that my partner didn't let me know that they were going to be overworking and didn't let me know I was going to be single parenting, and I feel really very hurt and very betrayed. And that's where the relationship falls apart. It has to be honest. You look very thoughtful around this.
Yeah, no, because
I
it's a
can see.
concern, especially when she mentioned the fact that there was an absent father, and at the end she had to be the one that taught the boys
To fix
lessons
hiccups.
about being men in society and all those
not
important
cool.
lessons that you can't necessarily always place the pressure on a mom to do, even though there are many single moms out there that have done it for years and are still doing it, and we love them so much for that. But when the father has the opportunity to be there and isn't actively there, there's just something that I have a bit of a problem with, even though I
it's
understand
incredibly
ambition.
uncomfortable. It's incredibly uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I also what I would like to ask her, was he really overworking, or was he spending time pursuing his own hobbies or spending time with friends? Was it really overworked?
See, then there's that other aspect of it. All right, we'll keep our lines open on 021 430 9881. Share your thoughts and your comments and questions with us. We're talking about partners who overwork and how that affects your relationship.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
The in-depth conversations happening in between those moments as we talk about relationships. 021 430 9881 with Dr. Eve. We were trying to just, because this is our last chat with Dr. Eve, how do we work through it as the partner who feels your partner is overworking, as the partner that is overworking? How do you approach this in your relationship?
Do you want to communicate? Because the worst thing for a partner is to build up that hurt. And what happens is that she becomes, or why am I saying she? I'm being
he or she.
I'm being very sexist, forgive me for that. The partner becomes very resentful. Starts out by being very patient and understanding, and this is cool, and admiring the person who overworks and understands the justifications. And then they build up resentment, and that resentment turns to anger, and that leads to more conflict between the two of them. And then what he or she does is he or she will begin to distance from the overworked person. The overworked person then starts using this person as what's called a career therapist. All they talk about is their work, and they just want to get advice from this person. So for those of you who do overwork, what I want to say is please don't feel guilty or shameful around it. Consider your own, your own priorities. What are the things that you really prioritize in your life? And then share them with your partner. Let the person know that I therefore have choices to make around how I manage my own life with this person who I do admire, who is overworking. I do admire you because you overwork, by the way. And then you also want to say, let us create rituals which are going to give me the sense of I'm important in your life. The most important thing is to be consistent and reliable. If you're the overworked person, be consistent and reliable. Send those messages, send those emails, make those phone calls. Be present when you say you will be present. Don't avoid and let the person down. Don't arrive late all the time. Don't create unpredictability in this person's life. Make rituals where you are going to be present. Make promises and keep them. Make commitments and keep them. And then you can go on overworking as much as you want, as long as you're not letting this partner down.
Yeah. I just read something very interesting this morning saying morning kisses and cuddles, midday texts to let them know that you're there, and evening back rubs. Sometimes it's just that simple.
Exactly.
Wow. Hear, hear.
I like that.
But be consistent in all of those things. We're going to take a quick ad break. Thank you so much to Dr. Eve. We'll see her back next week, same time, same place, talking about a more amazing relationship chat.
Thanks, babe.